Survival House Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We are back. What's going
on?
What's up?
This is not much. It's been a little too long. I know our output is a little spaced out. But you know, hey, we've been busy, but we're about to kick it in high gear. We're about to really get it going again. At least that's what I say.
No, that's not. Yeah, I'm trying to too, man. It's been kind of a shitty past couple months. It's funny because we say this like every episode. Oh, we're getting back into and we keep it keeps falling by the wayside. But I mean, there's things that we got shit going on. So.
Well, no, but it definitely is going to get started. We got some great stuff coming. Hopefully, have some good interviews in the bag coming, and you have some. Convention coverage we've yet to post interviews with Daniel Harris and a bunch of folks, right?
Yeah, I have all that shit. I've been editing it, and I just want to get everything done before I throw it. I want to throw it all up in one time, so
okay.
I'm going to do that, and I have like half of it done. So keep looking for that here in the next week or two. I should be posting it. So,
but that's some really really cool stuff.
We have Stephen Jeffries, we have Danielle Harris, and then we have a reunion cast for the Night of the Creeps. So it's a lot of fun and much other shit. So
very very cool, and some cool convention stories. I think you guys have yet to tell. Maybe we could share them at some point. Maybe you could share them tonight at some point. I don't know.
Nah, but, see, I'll wait for Lush. Lush isn't on this episode. I think he's out making his money. But I'll have to leave that to Lush because Lush has a lot of story. I mean, most of the time, like, I turn in, like, late because, somewhat early, but, midnight or so, but he's out till, like 4 in the morning, roaming the motel hallways and all that shit, so, I'll kind of leave those stories up to him, but we had a blast, and, just want to say thanks to, everybody at, the KC Crypticon, because it was a lot of fun, and I really can't wait till next year, so...
Very cool. Well, as far as tonight, what we're going to delve into, we wanted to put something out there just because there's been a whole lot of stuff been put out the last few weeks. A whole lot of content, a whole lot of new Blu-Rays, upcoming flicks to talk about, new album releases. There's just too much. And part of that, honestly, is maybe that's just because we haven't had so many episodes, lately, and there's so much to catch up on. But it really seems in the last few weeks there's been a lot put out. First, I want to talk about new Blu-ray releases. Obviously, for the mainstream comic geeks out there, I'm one of them. The Avengers finally came out. We'll talk about that. As far as horror releases, Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 got special editions thanks to what's that new company called again?
Well, it's Shout Factory.
Scare Factory.
No,
right?
It's Shout Factory, but they're calling themselves Scream Factory for the horror releases. So, Scream Factory.
Okay, we'll talk about those, and also Halloween Part 4 and 5, starring the aforementioned Danielle Harris as well.
Those and I believe Bay releases. Yes,
Anchor Bay, and I think you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Am I right? But that's not new, though, is it? Is that new?
It's new. Yeah, it just came out probably last week.
Okay.
I bought it like a stack of them, and I've been. Recently, I haven't had a whole lot to do, so I've been watching a shit ton of Blu-Rays and picking some up and trying to find what I don't have on Blu-ray. So even if they're a little old, I'm still going to talk about them and tell you what I think if you actually should purchase them or you should, not. Let's just say that.
No. Well, this is something that we care a lot about. It's not, River was the first on board, and I've since followed, and Lush is not even boarded the ship yet as far as Blu-ray goes, and I've become a snob. We're both snobs. I think you're still somewhat passionate, as a lot of fans are, about VHS and stuff like that, and that old grainy nostalgia.
The past few months,
yeah.
I'm a Blu-ray snob, dude. I can't watch anything else. Like, I just want to trade all my DVDs in.
Yeah, and that's me. I'm all for the quality and stuff. So this is, people never used to really break down and review DVDs like they do Blu-rays. The quality on that stuff was pretty consistent. Same thing with VHS. They were all films. You had to adjust the tracking every 2 seconds, and the VCR would eat your tapes. It was pretty consistent. With Blu-ray, it's the quality varies so much, and it's really important to know what you're getting yourself into before you shell out that hard-earned money. And there's great websites out there. I think our favorite is Blu-ray.com.
Yeah.
That we use to reference. And hopefully,
and we're going to kind of point you in the right direction. Whether it's a $10 buy, because me and you, I could kind of speak for you. We only spend $10 on a Blu-ray at the most, unless it's on sale. Yeah. Unless it's something very special,
like the Avengers.
Yeah.
In that case, I bought the 3D Blu-ray. I had to sit there but I got it on sale first week. Target, they made a mistake and put it on sale on the ads for $19.99, which normally it's $38. So can't go wrong with that. But either way, I would have paid top dollar for it anyway. But that's another story.
And this is gonna. I was kind of thinking about this. This is going to be kind of our behind the blue segment. Let's just say that. So, that's a good title. That you've heard it. That's the genesis right here on the air. You just birthed that. Behind the blue. Behind the blue. So we're going to be. We're going to be talking about the upcoming Blu-ray releases, and mostly just shit we buy too. Because want to give your input on that. Because there's just so much stuff we buy. It's kind of hard to review everything on the website. So what we can't, we're actually just going to talk about it on a podcast. So. Okay, well, let's actually, something I want to add to that right before we get into the actual films on Blu-ray is, hopefully, like I said, Blu-ray.com and sites like that are awesome, and even Amazon reviews are great. But hopefully anybody listening will take what we say into consideration too, because I like to think we know what we're talking about. Sure. we have a good eye. But I just want to say that price doesn't always accommodate for the quality. I know there's a lot of cheap Blu-rays out there, and it's pretty easy to place a pretty good bet on which ones are not going to look that great. The lesser grade of film you get, like some of these B horror movies, C horror movies, even if they're expensive price tagged, because they like to, anything with a cult following is going to have a more expensive price tag. More often than not, they're not the best. They're not going to be Avengers or the biggest blockbuster where it's the exact opposite. They're going to look amazing. But there are a few diamonds in the rough, and so that's something. That's what these sites are good for. Don't just pass off the $4 shelf at best. Walmart, because it's a $4 80s action movie. It's going to look bad. Just to give an example, somewhat recently I acquired Lockup, starring Sylvester Stallone. Oh, I got it I love that movie.
I got it. Yeah, it's amazing. But I got it for $5 at Walmart, and this is one that could have easily fell by the wayside and looked horrible. But you know what? It doesn't look that bad. I would give it. You got to consider things like the age of the film. There's no way a movie like that's 15, 20 years old is going to look. It's not even going to be comparable to a brand new blockbuster. It's just not going to happen. So you got to kind of grade it for what it is. And it's definitely, I'd say, a little above average for a movie of the day at the time. So to me, that was a diamond in the rough. So look out for that stuff. And before we get into it again, I just want to talk about. I want to go into the Best Buy side.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. I wanted to talk about Best Buy because we have a lot of feelings about Best Buy, especially nowadays. And I'll let you take over first because we bicker about this shit. Nonstop. Every week we text each other. About Best Buy. I am texting River once a week at least. About a way that Best Buy has burned me. Back in the day, but when we still had mom and pop shops, we didn't have a problem with big chains like Best Buy because everybody else was kind of still around. And if we could get it cheaper and we could have a somewhat comparable selection at a place like Best Buy, we didn't care. We didn't know any better. It was great. And back in 10, 12 years ago, whatever, they had a pretty decent selection going on. Their music, they actually had stuff organized by genre. They had many different racks. They actually had a horror rack. They would have now, and a lot of you guys have been in there recently, it's pretty much condensed down to one Blu-ray rack.
And it's just a big hodgepodge of whatever genre. And you can't even find. I've gone in there. This is the source of all my bitching. Is I go in there for a new release, something you'd at least expect them to have because it's brand new, and they didn't even order in a copy. I think it's the Halloween season. They didn't get in any copies of Halloween 2, 3, 4, or 5. Gosh, what are some of the ones lately? I've gone in there for CDs. I think, was it the latest Meshuggah that I went in there for? Yeah. And I was outraged. Like, are you serious? I don't know what it was. But
Reanimator, too. I was pissed off.
Reanimator. There's no Reanimator. And, every time I go in there, I'd be like, well, we can order for you online. But like, if you were just going to be an online retailer, I wouldn't even leave my house. It's like, what's the point? It's like, I mean, you guys serve the purpose of a quick fix. If I wanted to wait, 5 to 7 days to get something in the mail, there's a million other places I could go. Probably cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
Because Best Buy, they gouge the horror movies especially. They really take advantage of those followers. But it's pretty much catering to anything mainstream. You can bet while they won't even order one copy of Reanimator, I can pretty much guarantee they will sell one copy. I understand, just order 1 or 2 and then see how it goes. But you can guarantee they're going to order about 10,000 copies of the Hunger Games. Yeah. or all, because that's what it is. Like when the Hunger Games comes out, or Snow White and the Huntsman, or the Avengers, you would think that it is a Avengers themed store and not Best Buy anymore, or a Hunger Games themed store, and it's just everywhere. It's like, good Lord.
And the thing is, I mean, you think they want to jump out to like the horror fan market because, I mean, those are the only people that, I mean, the majority of the people buy Blu-rays are the horror fans and stuff like that. People that who have collections of horror DVDs and all that stuff. So you think they'd be catering to us, but I mean, they're screwing us over, man.
But I'm not totally jumping on them because I do understand the business side of things. I understand that a big movie that has proved to be successful, like Avengers, obviously box office, I can understand why they're going to want to load up on that and just keep a huge inventory of it. I get that. But you know what? For them to not order in maybe just a couple copies of like Halloween 2 or whatever, 1 or 2, it's like, I get that. I don't get it.
You don't need 20 copies of Fast and the Furious on Blu-ray. I mean, come on, really?
I mean, I would even go as far as to say they don't even need to order 10 copies of, say, Halloween 4. But come on, that's the way it works. Order a few copies. If those sell out, order more. It's like, what are these inventory guys doing? And I would go up to them. It's not like they sell out because I go up to them and I ask, and they say they don't get any in. It's like it's on back order. We're not getting any in. You have to order it from the website. And that's BS. And this is movies. This is releases, I think. A movie like Reanimator, no, it's not a modern movie, but it's got cult status. I think that's worthy. That's a movie I think would be available at Best Buy. I would hope. Gosh, what else? But it's not. It's music, it's movies, and it's also video games. Man, any video game nerds out there? I've been waiting for The Last Story to finally come stateside for a year, and it finally was released last month, I think, and Best Buy didn't get any in. Didn't get any in. I'm like, this is, people have been waiting for a game like this, and you guys didn't get any in. I thought it was ridiculous. Of course, order from the website. I don't know. It's stupid because passionate people like you and I, River, we like to get stuff first day.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into a shop and see nothing there and then be like, be referred to a website where I'm going to have to wait a week.
Well, I'm willing to stand in line to get the shit. That's the thing. I mean, just to have it in my hands that day.
Yeah. What is when they released the I'll call it the quote unquote apology for the original version, the mind bending edition of Total Recall? I was lucky because my Best Buy got one copy, and I was the one that got it. Thank God. And then so lucky me. But then after that, now you can't find the mind bending edition there because they're trying to liquidate the old ones.
Yeah, and I called you up, dude, and I was furious, dude. I was in Best Buy. They threw the $7.99 price tag. They ordered all the older versions of the really shitty. I mean, it's worse than VHS quality because I bought it probably like a year ago and I ended up selling it for, I don't know, probably a couple bucks because it ain't worth shit. But Yeah, they're trying to pawn all those off on people, thinking it's the, new mind-bending edition. And they're just taking advantage of people. It's really pissing me off. And then they throw the expendable sticker, you save $7 on, the Total Recall edition, but it's the crappy version.
Yeah, I mean, they took the Expendables coming out as a way to liquidate that back stock of those copies they had by putting all the promotional Expendable stuff and movies off ticket purchases and all that stuff. And which some of those were good deals, but because of sites like Blu-ray.com and just straight up experience and sometimes wasting our money, or in my case, Todd wasting his money and him telling me about how crappy it was first. Yeah. We know about this stuff. So we're here to help other people, don't go out and buy that copy. Make sure it has the mind bending edition. It looks good. I mean, other than that, it's really hard to tell because it's pretty much identical, except it's got a little orange strip at the top that says mind bending edition. Other than that, somebody that's not quite attentive to detail could easily not even notice and might get burned. Well, because I think their price is the same too. I think. Yeah,
and I think when I went, I think it was like $3 more. I think it was $9.99 instead of $7.99. But I'm not gonna, I'm not doing that. I mean, I'll wait. I'll wait for the extra couple months to get it again, but.
And I do believe it has a seal on the front with the director's approval signature because they made a big deal about that. He was, and there's a special feature on it too where it's like, if you don't believe my signature and you don't believe that, hey, we're sorry that last one was garbage, they put a special feature on there where they do side by side comparisons of the original Blu-ray and the new one to show you, look, so. Apparently he was a little butthurt about it too. So just be on the lookout for that stuff. But I don't know.
Kind of like new news with the whole Night of the Living Dead 90, the Twilight Times that put that out. Yeah, I hear. I've been seeing screenshots of that, and the picture is blue. Like the day shots are supposed to look night, and they totally screwed up the transfer. And there's a lot of pissed off people out there. So
because it was limited, right?
Yeah, it was limited. There's only a certain amount of copies. I didn't buy one because it was $30, and I'm not spending $30 on a Blu-ray, regardless of what it is. Maybe if it's something I have to have, but that, I mean, for a company that I don't know anything about, I can't really shell out because
Mm-hmm.
But
that right there. Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying there's a lot of people up in arms about it, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they actually do about it. Because they were talking about there's nothing they can do about it if they talk to the director and they got the seal of approval or that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that. So,
well, I mean, I wanted to say that whole ordeal, especially that price tag, is a good example of what I was touching on earlier with these people putting out certain horror films, taking advantage of the hardcore audience, knowing, hey, these aren't going to sell like mainstream movies as far as copies goes, but the hardcores are willing to pay $30 for a limited edition, unreviewed, sight unseen, and then they get burned because more often than not, these movies don't look that good.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they cost a mint, and they're usually pretty stripped down. They don't have if I'm going to pay $30 for a Blu-ray, it better have tons and tons and tons of bonus content. Yes. Everything, decked out. Which I think we should segue with that into the first movie, which I think should be the Avengers and that Blu-ray, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Speaking of expensive Blu-rays that do have accommodating special features, I got the 3D Blu-ray combo pack edition, and I'll of course, to be expected, it looks incredible. It sounds incredible. As far as I'm concerned, it is tens across the board. But I kind of expected it. I would have been disappointed if it would have been anything less than that, honestly. And actually, the 3D looks better on this transfer than it did in theaters. Which, 3D on your, LED or whatever is always going to look better, I would imagine, than on a movie, projector. But they definitely did some different stuff with it, and they made it look really good. As far as content-wise, if you're basing it off just other movies and what they usually include, it's got a lot of content. I really can't complain. There's, a couple of featurettes. There's deleted scenes. There's gag reels, all that fun stuff. If there's any gripe at all which I think no matter what, as a fan and any fanboy is always going to be able to find a gripe, no matter how many discs they gave you of content. If you're a fan enough of it, there could always be more, that type of thing. And the biggest common gripe is that supposedly there's a director's cut. I think Josh Whedon was pretty open about that I think originally it was like 3 hours long, and then he had to whittle it down to like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So fans kind of feel cheated that we didn't get a director's cut. And then some people fear that, oh my God, they're going to make us double dip, and they're going to do that whole trick, in 6 months or Christmas time, release the director's cut. And that always burns me. So we'll see what happens there. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen that. But if I hadn't known about a director's cut, I'd say the special features were pretty good. I'm happy with them. Now let's move on to aesthetics. My only gripe, it looks pretty. The slipcover's pretty and all that good stuff. And when you take it out of the case, my only gripe is that when you open it, it's got 4 discs and all. It doesn't have like pages within the case, where every disc has its own little home. They've got 2 little prints to put your discs in, and they just stacked 2 discs on each other.
Horrible.
Yeah. And so, which is fine. Honestly, the Blu-rays aren't going to be affected because, they're scratch-proof and they got that coating on them. So the 2 Blu-rays stacked on each other, not going to do any harm to it. It just looks cheap. But the DVD that comes with the bonus, not that I use the DVD. Who would if they're buying I don't understand why they package the DVD with these bonus.
Get rid of DVDs.
Well, is it for people that, hey, I'm going to give the DVD part to my friend who just has DVD. Like, I'll give it to Lush. Because obviously if I'm buying a 3D Blu-ray, I own 3D Blu-ray or Blu-ray. Why do I want the DVD? But whatever. The more the merrier. It really doesn't bug me. But that DVD, when being stacked on top of, I think it's like the digital copy or something, those 2 discs are going to get scratched up. So I just think for a movie of this caliber and how big it was, it's a cheap out. I don't know, something like that was really silly. So, but it's just a minor gripe, And of course, this isn't necessarily the movie's fault. This is just a gripe on Blu-ray cases in general. They're cheaply made, and I'd say 1 out of every 4 I buy is broken somehow. And
we always talk about this too with the cheap corners, and then also how they go super cheap on the flimsy cases where they have like the little round thing inside that just you basically stick your finger through the packaging. It's that thin.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Yeah, that is me too. And that's more common in your cheaper Blu-rays. Avengers doesn't have that going on, but when I did take off the slipcover and the wrapping, the case in the corner is cracked and it is about to fall apart. And usually I'd be devising some sort of like sneaky way of taking it back to Best Buy saying it was defective so I can get another one just because I don't like the chip and the plastic. I'm weird like that. But since I got the Steelbook collector's case that you got from Best Buy for pre-ordering, I just keep my discs in there, and I keep the slip cover on the original case at all times. So, what I don't see won't affect me, hopefully,
Yeah.
Just kind of just put it away. Which, that we can actually, speaking of my weird antics, tell them about, I'm one of these slipcaseophiles. I got this problem. I have to have slipcases. River's been with me where I've went and bought movies from a place that had the slipcover, and I already owned it, and I would just steal the slipcover and then return the movie without it, like 5 minutes later.
You did that, you did that a few times when you were up here with me, and then also I think when we made like trades or whatever, you included a slipcase as a incentive for the trade, which was kind of funny.
I'm weird, man. I've done it with many movies, and I'm always on the lookout. Like, for example, I refuse to buy Beetlejuice as much as I want it because when these movies first come out, then the slipcases might be present. But, after they've been in circulation for just a little bit, you can't find them with slipcases anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot find a copy of Beetlejuice with the slipcase that originally came with it, so I refuse to buy it. Or I know if I buy it, I'm going to be on a manhunt trying to find it somewhere with the slipcover.
Yeah.
And every now and again I get lucky, and I always check the Blu-ray sections. Even if I don't really want to buy a Blu-ray or I don't have the cash for it, I check to see if they have any of my favorite movies that I already own with the slipcover. And I've done that. I've been places, and I've done it with tons of movies I own. And you know what? It might be a little sick, and it might be a problem, but actually I kind of have fun with it. It's kind of like a nice hobby, a collecting thing. I don't know.
Collecting slipcases.
It is, man. It's funny going and buying a Blu-ray and then coming right back in 2 minutes later, like, you know what? I decided I didn't want that. I just remembered I already have this. Nobody once has said, this looks a little different than when I, because nobody cares. Even if they did notice, they're not going to care. They'd be like, a lot of people think they're just garbage.
Well, and the thing, and I understand where you're coming from. I'm not a huge slipcase collector, but like I said, I picked up the Halloween 2 and 3 collector's editions on Blu-ray, and if they wouldn't have had a slipcase, dude, I would have been pissed because they should have slipcases, which they do. But like certain movies like that, I have to have a slipcase, but other movies, it really doesn't bug me. So
Halloween 2 and 3 do have slipcases. They do, because I've not seen them on store shelves yet because Best Buy doesn't carry them, but they do. So I know what to look for.
Yep, they do have slipcases, and they're very nice slipcases too.
Gosh, man, that makes me mad because what always worries me, you got them from like a local establishment, and if I sit there and buckle up and order them from Amazon or from BestBuy.com, they don't send you the slipcases.
Well, I don't know. The Scream Factory, you never know. They might be kind of anal about that. But the thing is, speaking of slipcases, I was in Walmart 2 days ago. I don't know, buying some random shit. And then I saw the new Pet Sematary on Blu-ray. It had the coolest slipcase, dude. It had like, I love those like hologram slipcases where you touch it and it's like, I don't know, your finger kind of, you know what I'm saying. But the Avengers 3D Blu-ray has that. Yeah, it was on there, and I was like, oh man, I would have just bought it, But they were charging $15, and I was like, I can't do that. But but I don't want to go back and buy it when it's $7.99 with no slipcase, though. So I go back. Will buy $15. I'll pay gladly $15 for a movie I'm a big fan of if it's got good quality and it's got good special features. I have no problem spending $15 on Blu-ray. I'm not gonna do it every week, but Yeah.
But so that really bugs me actually that you say Halloween 2 and 3 have slipcases, because I wouldn't have known otherwise, and there's nobody for me to order it that isn't online, and that's scary to me. Because
I went through Go Hastings, and they only have I think their shipping's only like 95 cents. So I'd recommend.
Would they ship it to me?
Yeah.
Okay. How much did you pay for those ditties?
I think they were like, God, I don't know. I'll have to go back and check, but they were standard price is what Scream Factory's, selling them for.
15 or more.
I don't remember what they were.
I could do 15. All right. And it's just those things you got to jump on, because I get fearful because it's like, well, if I don't buy this movie, like you were saying, now or soon, there's going to be no more slipcases. And you say it's a Scream Factory thing, but if I order it BestBuy.com or Amazon, Best Buy throws those away. They get them in and then they pitch them. I was talking to representatives at the store before, and that's what they told me. And they're like, man, we just pitch those things. A lot of times they get dented up or dinged up, whatever, and we just take them off and throw them away. And then a little piece of my heart died when he said that. I'm like, really? You were throwing away this treasure?
Yeah, but they have special stickers on there, too. Like the Halloween 3 is a 30th anniversary Silver Shamrock Edition sticker on it. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully don't throw away the slipcovers if they,
There's a couple. It's really not many at all that they actually shrink wrap over the slipcase. And those are the only ones that are guaranteed to. Huh?
Well, I mean, my corners are bent. I can live with that because it's, the way it goes. But, no, I'd love it if they shrink wrapped all of those.
I wish they would just do it to all of them, and I don't know why they don't. One movie that comes to mind is one of the very couple that does it is The Hangover 2. And you know what? I still see that. That movie's been out for a year, and I still see that at Best Buy, and every one of them is shrink wrapped, and they still have the slip covers. I'm like, why does everybody not do this? Because we're a very small market here of these weird files. I actually found a website called slipcover.com, and it's for slipcover files. I'm not the only one. It's so funny.
Really?
There's a website. Yeah. And yeah, dude, it's crazy. And I'm a member of it now.
Slipcover Anonymous, dude.
Yeah, and so I know we're a very, very, very small group and a very small market, but how hard, if they're going to shrink wrap the movie anyway, why not just put that shrink wrap over the box and appease this small market? It's no scratch off their back. It doesn't affect them any. It doesn't cost them any more money. Whatever. That's my griping for the day. Blech, I'm done. But Yeah, I think you should move on to start with. We'll just go in sequence. You can tell us about. I haven't seen 2 or 3 yet. We both own 4 and 5. So River, I'll let you take over 2 and 3 for Halloween.
Okay, so I picked up these from Go Hastings or whatever, and yeah, I don't know. I never been a huge fan of 2. I'm gonna give it a second chance. I've seen it probably 10 times, but that was
I love it
more than 10 years ago. But I mean, this has a shit ton of special features on here. I mean, it's a 2-disc collector's edition, and I mean the cover art is just amazing. So I had to pick it up because it's Scream Factory. I have to support them now because they look like they're the new Anchor Bay, but even better because they have their own custom artwork on the covers. And basically, once you open up the Blu-ray case, they have you could hear it as me opening up the Blu-ray case. They have the reversible covers of the original, the original cover or whatever.
I didn't know that. That's really neat. And
the Halloween 2 actual Blu-rays look awesome because they got the pumpkin on there, of course, with the teeth and everything. And it says Halloween 2 right on there. So, I mean, the packaging looks awesome. So,
wow.
I give it a thumbs up for that. I haven't checked out Halloween 2 yet, so I can't really comment on it yet. So stay tuned for that. But I checked out Halloween 3 last night, which I love. I mean, there's become more of a cult following here recently. And video-wise, I would probably have to give it 3.5 out of 5 video quality. One thing that bugged me was, the aspect ratio wasn't, full screen of my HD TV is, the black bars, because I have a 55-inch TV, so, I mean, it didn't bug me as much, but if you have, a 32-inch, HD TV, it might bug you a little bit, so keep that in mind, but they have some good special features. I mean, they have commentaries, they had, God, what did they have? Horror Hallowgrounds with Sean Clark. He did, so he goes around and basically goes to all the old sites and then and now type of thing, which is really fucking cool. I love when they do this, and it's in this film, and it's also in another film I'll be talking about later. This is I don't know. This is one thing that really turns me on about these Blu-rays is when they do this stuff, because I like to see what what's happened over the last 30 years at this place, or how it's changed and all that. So that, and then they have kind of a making a Halloween 3 type of thing, and some TV spots and radio spots and all that. But I would highly recommend it. I think it is worth it. Do the packaging and everything. It's a collector's edition. Highly recommend it. Go out and buy it. So that's Halloween 3 for me. Audio quality is great too. So.
And you actually said, what? And just a side note, I think because you told me about those slip covers, I think I'm going to crack down and after the weekend maybe order those from Go Hastings, you say? I might crack down and get them.
That's where I got them. You might be able to find them anywhere on Amazon, but
Amazon is
I had a gift card. I had a gift card through Go Hastings, so I had to get it through there. So,
but it's not worth the risk of me not getting a slipcase, and since you can verify that you got yours from Go Hastings, that might be worth it for me, Because
I can guarantee for these right now, I mean, if you wait another 6 months, you probably won't get the slipcovers maybe. But if you buy them now, I think you will get the slipcovers. You're better off buying them as, this is with anything, because I think the majority of them did have slipcovers.
So, and that's it. Rant about it because we spent too much time doing that, but you did touch on something that I think I've complained about in the past about Blu-rays, but it's the aspect ratio. Do we really need 99.9% of all Blu-rays to be widescreen when we obviously own widescreen TVs? I mean, these HD TVs are widescreen. Why must they rob us of more screen? I don't understand.
That's my biggest pet peeve about anything, dude, because I want to utilize my full screen, my 55 inches, man.
And you're losing it because, back when DVDs were king, almost tons of it was the standard to give you options. Do you want to either they offer the movie in either widescreen or full screen, or the movies offer the feature to switch back and forth, or you could at least buy it. Like I said, 2 separate copies. Blu-rays, they're almost always widescreen, and I don't get it. And the only ones that I have found that are full screen are the cheaper, lower profile releases, like Lock Up. That's one. Yeah. Old movies. and Halloween 4 and 5, which we'll get into. And even that's just kind of rare. But, dude, anything else, it's so hard. So, I've almost just kind of accepted it. It's something that's become something that I have to just forgive, because if I couldn't forgive that, I would not own any Blu-rays, because they are almost all like that. And it's just kind of a nice, happy joy when I come across one that is full screen, that I want to watch and own. So it's just like a bonus, which is sad, because I don't think it should be like that. I think it should be an option. How hard would that be? I don't know.
How hard is it to click 16:9? I want this, full screen on my HD TV. It's bullshit, but I don't know. What can you do, I guess? But you have to really hunt. That's one thing I do when I purchase Blu-rays. I go on to Blu-Ray.com and check out the aspect ratio, because I want to know. Majority of the films I will pass up because I want them, I want to see the whole film on my screen.
But what is the ratio of movies like that to full screen? It's pretty low, isn't it? Would you say 9 out of 10? 9 point, even less?
You know what? The films I buy, I think 9 of the 10 films are 16:9, because I buy a lot of older films. So I don't know what the films you buy, but like all the ones that I'm covering, besides Halloween 3, I think they were all 16:9.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, any mainstream releases, or even somewhat, okay, you're gonna have a different story. And you saying that makes me want to kind of look at my collection and see if there's any of those to mention that are. And you're probably right. And I don't know what the deal is with that, but anyway, I'm not somebody that's just totally underground. I like everything. There's good stuff. I'm a fanboy. I like those movies like we're talking about now. I love the old horror movies and Halloweens and stuff. But you know what? I like that my comic book movies are big budget popcorn movies. I wouldn't want those low budget. Who would?
Yeah.
So whatever. I want to have my cake and eat it too. Is that so much to ask? Can't you just please me? I'm the consumer, for God's sakes. But anyway, we should let that go into 4 and 5, which are full screen. We'll start with 4.
4. Yeah, this is released by Anchor Bay. They have the commentaries. They have one cool thing about it is they have like the panels, the discussion panels from I don't know what convention it was, but they talk about Halloween 4 and 5, and they're interviewing Danielle Harris and the rest of the crew. And I thought that was kind of cool. It's like a 20-minute little 2.5 hour discussion panel, which it's always cool to see Danielle Harris on there. So Halloween 4 and 5, it doesn't have a ton of special features, but quality-wise, I would have to say it's maybe average to above average. It's not fantastic, but it's definitely worth the $7.99 you're going to spend at Walmart.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what you're saying. I don't really know how to judge these qualities of movies. Sometimes I judge them, like I said, to how old they are. There's a certain standard and expectation there, and it's about as good as I would have ever expected it to be. Sure. For that kind of movie. Which if you want to put it on a normal scale, a little above average. Average to just whatever I can deal with.
Yeah,
just a little. Somewhere, but like I said, for that type of movie, I couldn't have asked for any more. I wasn't expecting the Avengers. There's really only a couple of movies that are retro that look incredible. And obviously those are bigger movies, and they're even fewer far between. And we've talked about this before. Taxi Driver looks incredible. My favorite is
we're going to be talking about Taxi Driver, so hold up.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. We didn't discuss this. But anyway, it looks incredible, so whatever. But, yeah. 4 overall.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go into 4, and then jump into 5 when you're done.
Well, 4 overall is more revered as a better film than 5. Maybe I could say that 5 is I don't know, almost as good, I guess, but it doesn't make any sense. There's tons of plot holes within the series, because they didn't.
Hey,
what?
Your opinion? I actually like 5 better than 4.
Did you? Well, I'm saying they're pretty. They're not. There's too far off.
2 huge plot holes in 4. And I don't know if you want to get into why Donald Pleasance leaves the girl in the house, going back to the old house, thinking, oh, that's where Michael Myers is going to go. No, he's going to go after the girl. So, that was the stupidest thing he could have done. And the cop, let's leave my daughter here with the maniacs out there killing everybody. And let's go help out these hillbillies.
I think Dr. Loomis was starting to hit the point of no return as far as dementia goes. He's almost obsessed with it, you know?
Yeah. That's why I liked him in 5, dude, because he's basically, like, you know, torturing the little girl. It was funny. But
yeah, when he's holding her for us. But, you know, I'm just saying they're close enough. There's not like a big enough difference there where I'm going to say, oh, I love this one so much better. Whatever. They play off each other like one and the second one do, back to back. And the fifth one, it is weirder because they talk about it in that panel discussion on the special features of 4, but because they didn't continue in the story direction with the 6th one and all that stuff, they kind of wrote off the Daniel Harris character and all that stuff, just kind of wiped that clean. And so it makes some of the cliffhangers of that one make no sense, like the man with the steel-toe boots and the symbols on Mike Myers' arms and all that stuff is just, But whatever. The movie's all right. I wanted to go ahead.
Oh, I said if any of you guys out there like did any research on that, I mean, we did a little bit and we've heard some things about that, but I mean, if you guys went really in depth, I mean, let us know what that's all about. So,
I wanted to say, as far as special features, supposedly there's if you look at the box, it looks like there's a couple little more things, like some commentaries on it that has the leg up from the 4th one. But I don't know about you, River, but those commentaries are not on that Blu-ray. I cannot find them. They are not in special features. They are nowhere.
Really?
It's supposed to have a commentary with Daniel Harris, the director, and I don't remember. Maybe the writer. I have no idea. But the French guy that directed it and Daniel Harris, but they're not there. You can look with all your might. They are not there. It's
really?
pretty stripped. Yeah, it's a pretty stripped down menu. Like, you know, play, setup, special features, that kind of thing. And dude, it's nowhere.
Yeah.
So I since they're brand new, I don't know if it's out there yet, but I'm needing to do some research, see if anybody else has the same gripe, because they're not there. And if I'm wrong, and they made it really hard to access them, but I'm not a retard. I mean, it's like, you know, left, right, up, down. They're nowhere. So that bugs me. And if that is the truth about this, then that's obviously a big scratch on it, because bait and switch. But I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, I
was looking forward to listening to it.
Yeah.
But
and of course, Daniel Harris likes 4 better than 5, which he says in the panel. But
I think everybody in the panel said they did.
Yeah.
But now, would you say the quality is consistent video-wise? What about audio with the 4th one? I watched them back to back, and I think they're pretty consistent.
Yeah, I would have to say, I think the audio is pretty decent.
Okay.
It was maybe it was a little below. I don't know. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't. You know, it was probably the same with the video quality.
All right. Yeah, well, we'll look into that and be up to date on what's going on with that special feature. I think the other flick is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I haven't seen this version yet, so you tell me what's about. It was not something that I would expect to look great. It's one of those titles I wouldn't go into with high hopes.
And you know what? You can find this at your local Best Buy. I think it's $7.99 now. Of course, they have the crappy cover. It looks horrible. I like the original cover, you know, with the whole cast on there. And I love this film. I mean, you know, it's either love it or hate it, which I don't understand, because it's like an Evil Dead 2 to me, you know. It's like, you know, the first one's serious and the second one's a joke. But I love it. I love Dennis Hopper in it. The film, it doesn't... There's some parts that actually look pretty solid, but other parts look horrible. So, that's all I can say about that. I mean, the special features they actually have some halfway decent special features, with, basically they go through, I think, the making of the film, which I watched some of them, but the biggest disappointment of this film is they don't have a menu for the fucking film. Which, that is the biggest no-no for any release. They don't have a menu. You have to scroll through, you know, the pop-up at the bottom to get to your DVD extra or your Blu-ray extras and everything. And that's one thing that that grinds my gears, man. I hate that so much. It's like, I mean, I know MGM's putting this out and they never put any time into their Blu-rays or anything, but you at least put a fucking menu on there.
it's horrible. I get annoyed with that when it's happened, because let's say you just bought the flick and you're going to watch it, enjoy some popcorn at home. You pop it in, and then expecting the standard as a menu is going to pop up, and you don't have to push play it, and you're in there popping popcorn, and you hear the movie start. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it just starts right. I hate that, but agreed.
And but the one thing about it, I mean, the video quality was probably decent, maybe a little bit below average. The audio quality is actually pretty good, because I had to keep turning it down because I think my old lady was yelling at me because she kept hearing chainsaws and stuff, which is pretty cool. So the audio quality was good, especially with the surround sound. So I would buy it, for the $7.99, Best Buy thing. I wouldn't spend any more than that on it, but that's all I have to say about that. Oh, and one other thing. I guess this film was actually, I think it was banned in some states, which is actually kind of funny because it's, it's not really a serious movie, or in some countries. I want to say it was Germany or something I don't know if it's back in the 80s or whatever. And I want to say that this is the uncut version that runs 101 minutes. So there's a couple different versions out there. So it's actually pretty solid. So.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the recent watches. Is there any let's go into upcoming. Is there any upcoming Blu-rays that are coming out? I think, Scare House, Scream House, whatever they're called. My bad. I was looking up today that they are releasing a nice slew of other horror flicks coming out. I think they have the Funhouse coming out. There's another big one. Yeah, that one. There's one more that was really exciting. There's a slew of them, but there was another one that was really cool. Huh?
Terror Train?
Terror Train, yeah.
That one, Deadly Blessing, The Nest, The Island, and Death Valley, all coming out this year.
So, if these Halloweens, Halloween 2 and 3, they look good, and they look good to you, and River says they look good, hopefully that's an indication that the rest of these will be pretty nice as well. And maybe they'll have... maybe they'll be decked out anniversary type stuff too. Hopefully they get as much love and care as the Halloweens did. But anything else coming out that you're looking forward to, Blu-ray wise?
Not really. I mean, you kind of touched on it. I mean, next one I want to pick up is the Funhouse, because I do like the Funhouse. I'm going to stick with the Scream Factory. I'm probably going to get the whole, pretty much everything that comes out from them, because they are putting the time and effort into it, and I know
maybe we should get a hold of Scream Factory, see if we can do some wheel and deal.
Yeah, we could do that for sure. Do that. I'd love to support these guys if they're willing to spend the time to re-release all these movies and put good special features in there. So yeah, for sure. Let's see. That covers sort of the lower budget side of things. As far as mainstream films, Dark Knight Rises got its release date in December. That's kind of a ways off. I'm a comic geek once again. I'll see Spider-Man's coming out in November, but that movie kind of sucked. Yeah, I didn't like it. So I won't be buying that. Of course, I'll acquire Batman. I'll probably score it. Well, if it's coming right before Christmas, so I won't get that on Black Friday. Death Warrant came out today.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
If Death Warrant came out, then that means Double Impact did too. He released. There was 3 total.
I don't know. I'm looking on Blu-ray.com right now. It says $9.99. It's Death Warrants. Yeah.
Oh.
Came out October 2nd.
Oh man.
That was yesterday. Never mind. It was yesterday.
Well, I wonder if Best Buy got any in. I guess I'll be texting you if I'm pissed off again.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be pissed. Let me check Best Buy right now.
I was in there Tuesday. Really? I was in there Tuesday to pick up my Resident Evil 6 pre-order, which is something I will cover in a bit as well. And I didn't really look too... I did look at the Blu-rays. I looked at them hard and heavy, actually, and I did not see it. I'll be pissed.
Let me see it. Let me see. I'm actually checking right now to see if my store had got it in, but...
Yeah.
That's one you want, then, huh?
Bogus, man.
Goose?
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I love Death Warrant.
It's all unavailable in my neck of the woods, so I don't know. Good luck with that.
He thinks he's too good for me, Priest. I love the drag queen, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's great, dude. Yeah.
He's like to sample one of my ladies. He's like, I'll take a rain check. He thinks he's too good for me, Priest. Freaking looks like Wesley Snipes drag, dude, in Tu Wong Fu, dude. I think I will take a rain check. Thinks he's too good for me, Priest. But great flick. Gosh, what else? Big one for me. I believe it's in this month. Prometheus. You know, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people bickered and had things to bitch about that movie. I loved it. You know, it was kind of divided between the fans. You know, I think the story was great. I think what people are calling plot holes were totally kind of intentional. I mean, if you get the whole scheme and the whole meaning of the whole movie, I think it actually kind of worked for it. And that's not just me being a fanboy. I mean, because I would be probably hurt if I felt real bad about it and express that, but because I love it so much, that series. But there is a director's cut. Supposedly, God, I think it's going to have 30 extra minutes. Which that 30 minutes could make all the difference in these things that people are griping about. But I can't wait for that. And because I'm a huge fan of it, 3D isn't the be-all, end-all for me. But for movies like that will look incredible because the cinematography and everything about it.
I'm sure it's going to be 5 out of 5 stars on that one, man.
Oh, dude, I saw it in 3D IMAX. And that I don't like seeing 3D movies usually, but 3D IMAX, I saw it a few times. And the last time I saw it was 3D IMAX, and it was gorgeous. I'm like, this movie is beautiful, and it was filmed for it, and so I will buy that one in 3D, and I'm looking forward to that one most of all. So,
yeah, and I still need to buy the Alien box set. It's only like $30 at Walmart. I keep passing it up, but I'm kind of hoping maybe for for Christmas, my old lady will get it for me or something. So
can't go wrong with that deal. $30. It's gotten cheaper and cheaper because Aliens, you wanted to talk about Taxi Driver and you snipped at me. Well, we'll kind of talk about that really quick here because we're done with the upcoming stuff. But Aliens is my number one best looking retro movie. An Alien, which is, a few years older, 1979, and Aliens is 86. Alien isn't far behind it. It looks fantastic, but I have to give Aliens a slight upper hand. Both of them look so good. It's freaking scary, man. You need to see them. I mean, they all look great. Some people complain about Alien 3. I think it's a decent movie, and Alien Resurrection. I actually think it's a fun movie. I really like Alien Resurrection, and they all look great, and the special features are out of this world. It's got hours, and it's like 8 discs or something, dude. It's like hours and hours and hours for each movie.
I need to get that.
So much cool stuff, especially if you're a fan. They got interviews with the writers, and they talk about all kinds of stuff about alternate ways when they wrote the story. They each video except for Alien 3, because David Fincher hates Alien 3 and he hates what he just wants to rid himself of what happened with that. Yeah. Besides that, every movie has an introduction by the director who did it, James Cameron, Ridley Scott, et cetera, et cetera. And they're really, really neat. They took their time with it. Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, it was worth the price when it came out, when it was like $80, $90, $100, $120. It was worth it then. So definitely you get it on the cheap now.
Yeah, kind of get into that, the Taxi Driver thing. That's my favorite. I mean, for audio, video quality, I mean, it looks amazing. It sounds amazing. The packaging, I freaking love the packaging because it's, nice, thick. It's like a, kind of a book. It's, the front of it has like, the raised lettering that says Taxi Driver in it, and the beautiful pictures on the back, and you open it up. And, I mean, of course you have, the Blu-ray DVD, but inside you have these lobby cards, which are fantastic. I mean, some of the favorite parts of the movies are just in here, and you get to, check them out. And I mean, I probably watched this Blu-ray last month, and I want to watch it again. Like, I was tempted yesterday to actually watch it again. And the funny thing about the Taxi Driver is you wouldn't think it'd be like one of those movies you can rewatch like a lot. But ever since I saw this, I just want to watch it again because it looks so damn good. And I picked this up for like $10 at Best Buy one week. It was on sale. And I would highly, highly recommend it. It's probably one of my favorite Blu-ray releases. So that's what I have to say.
I agree. I own it too, and I think packaging, sound, video, especially for the movie's age, everything is incredible. Considering its movie's age, I think it deserves a 10 across the board. Yeah. For everything. It does look very fantastic. Speaking of older movies, actually, I'm bad about this, but a few weeks back, I acquired the 30th anniversary Ultimate Edition of Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, nice!
I've yet to actually open it because they made a mistake, and I mean, I bought it because it was on sale for $9.99, but they were saying the standard edition was $9.99. They made a mistake, but they gave it to me for the $9. But because it was their mistake and all. But dude, the packaging is beautiful. It's a giant box, and inside is like this friggin' let's see, it's got like a book inside with all kinds of production notes and pictures. And
where'd you
and
get
inside
that at?
Best Buy.
Really?
Yeah,
I heard that video quality is just amazing, dude.
And you know what? I'm actually inspired to maybe watch it tonight because I kind of forgot about it. But it's got let's see, it's got a Steven Spielberg 30 Years of Close Encounters documentary, storyboard scene comparisons, photo galleries, a making of documentary, another 1977 featurette called Watch the Skies, deleted scenes, movie. Let's see. In a movie, A View from Above, editor's fast track. I'm not sure what that is. God, there's just tons of featurettes, which I love, man. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that. So I don't know. I'm all about the packaging, man. I can't turn it down. I might. This might not have been a movie I would have bought if it just had a plain Jane packaging. But since it's like sometimes the packaging draws me in.
Oh, me too.
It's like so. If for some reason any producers or production company people are listening, like take our word for it, man. I'll be more apt to buy your product if it looks awesome and it's really gonna pop in my collection, man.
Yeah, no, I agree.
For real. So, gosh, man. Speaking of popping in your collection, I see how we've been gone such a long time. There's so much to cover, and we'll call this the last one as far as Blu-ray stuff. But The Walking Dead Season 2 came out. And I was good enough to score the Zombie Head Special Edition, the big box. And I'm usually not one for the gimmicks and paying all that extra scratch for something gimmicky like that. But dude, this Zombie Head is awesome. It's on my mantle. And the thing that really drove me to buy it is because it's the only way that you could get the extra special edition of the Blu-ray with the awesome packaging and the case and all that stuff and the extra features and whatnot, because at least for now, I think eventually they will release that separate, just like they did with the first one. But at the time, you had to get the Zombie Head to get that. Otherwise, if you bought it standard, it was just the standard one, which looked lame. It just was a basic DVD Blu-ray case with a slip cover over it, and it was lacking some special features, and I'm like, screw that noise. So,
the Zombie Head is freaking amazing, though. I wish I would have been able to score one.
It's quality, man. It looks beautiful on my mantle right next to my Talking Freddy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. Getting in the Halloween spirit, but and I've yet to watch them yet, so I can't commentate on the features or the quality, just because Season 3 is getting ready to gear up and start, and I was preparing myself to have a marathon of the first two seasons because I own them both on Blu-ray, so I was going to wait a couple weeks to start that just for that occasion. So we'll throw that in there when Season 3 starts and we're talking about all that stuff, but very much looking forward to it. So
let's take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk about some more stuff. But you're listening Behind the Mask.
And remember, kids, tell them Freddy sent you.
Hey, baby, wanna live?
Don't pass her by. She knows how to make a man's trip worthwhile. And before you've gone very far, you'll see why they call her Teenage Tramp. Teenage Tramp, old enough, ripe enough for whatever comes her way. Yesterday there was Frankie, Johnny, and Eddie. Today is another day for Teenage Tramp. Released by NMD Films. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Hey guys, we're back. What's going on?
Not too much. Hey, I wanted to reiterate real quick and touch in that forgot to mention Halloween. We were talking about Halloween. We talked about 4 of the sequels for crying out loud, and forgot to mention that the original is being re-released in theaters for the Halloween season, which is cool. Usually I'm not the one to jump at all that cash grab stuff, but I would love to see the original Halloween in honor of the season. That would be great. But really, I just wanted to warn everybody that I think to coincide with that, it is getting another anniversary re-release on Blu-ray that's going to be better and more special features. So nobody go out and waste your money on the older versions of Blu-ray that are out there. I hate it when I do that, so I wanted to warn of that. And really quick, when we were talking about our upcoming Blu-rays we're looking forward to the most, this is something River and I have been waiting for a long time because it's been out in Europe and whatnot. And I was considering, since it was region-free, of importing it from Amazon UK like a lot of people have, but the Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray collection. So that's getting a U.S. release date as well. So don't waste your money. That's why I haven't wasted my money buying the original on Blu-ray or that 2 and 3 combo pack. I wouldn't waste your money unless you just can't wait and you have to watch them like for Halloween.
I'm trying to think of when those are coming out. I want to say they're coming out in November. I don't know. I'll have to look those up again.
But really looking forward to that Freddy collection for sure for me. So
yeah, because I've always been tempted to buy 2 and 3. But I want to buy them separately. I mean, I don't like,
Yeah, me too. But I've been holding out on the box set since I found out that European one's been out for a long time. Like, I'll just wait and I'll order that thing because, supposedly it was fairly inexpensive to order it from Amazon UK and have it shipped. Wasn't that bad of a deal. But
you know what?
Anyway,
I wish that they would throw that Never Sleep Again documentary on there. I don't know if you've ever seen that. But it is amazing, dude. It's only out on DVD. Is that on
Netflix?
I don't know if it's on Netflix. It's only on DVD, I know that. But that thing is great, dude. It's like 4 hours of, retrospective of all the films. And it's fantastic documentary. So I highly recommend that if you're into the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
I need to acquire it. And if it's something I can't acquire, then maybe I can stream it online somewhere or something because I'd love to see it. Yeah. I can't get it any other way. So be on the lookout for that, guys, and don't be double dipping. Get the newest and greatest and latest. That's the worst, man.
No, I agree.
Anywho, let's move right into a couple of music selections that have come out in the past couple weeks. First up, the new Down, a Phil Anselmo fronted supergroup, if you want to call it that, came out with their new EP, their first in 5 years. It's the first of I think they've officially ditched the LP album format, and they just want to go straight to releasing EPs now, like just 6-song punch to the throat type of deal. And they're going to supposedly release a 4-parter, and this is the first of 4 parts. And originally they wanted to release them one out every 6 months. That way they can get them done more efficiently and put them out quicker instead of these 5, 6, 7-year gaps they've been doing. But who knows? Knowing them, they're very paced. It might be once every year, but anyway. Supposedly each of the 4 is going to encompass a different sound that they're known for. They do the sludge, Black Sabbath-y Doom thing, and they also do the acoustic stuff, Stone the Crow and stuff like that, if you guys are a fan. So, for example, the next EP might be totally acoustic Stone the Crow type stuff. This first one is just straight up pure concentrated down, just raw, very raw production, which I think sounds amazing. I love the approach to it. It's retro sounding without trying to sound retro sounding, which I know is so hip these days. It's really a perfect balance, and no glitz and glamour, no candy added onto the vocals, none of that stuff. It's as garage as it gets. As far as the actual songs, it's really good. It's not as good as NOLA. I don't think they're ever going to top NOLA, and it's not as good as Down 2. But I'd say it's every bit as good as Down 3, but I love that whole 6-song, which back in the day that would have been an LP. Back in the glory, because these are long songs. These are like 6 and 7 minute long songs. That was a Led Zeppelin record back in the day, and today it's an EP. But whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big fan of it. There's definitely some key tracks on there. The single Witch Tripper, if you haven't seen that video, they stream it online, which I know videos is pretty much a dead format for rock bands nowadays, but it's very Rob Zombie, man. It's very retro, and it's really a cool video. So if you're into, and it's very, very Black Sabbath-y, this whole record is just reeks of Sabbath, which is an amazing thing. The key track of the album, I'll just close it with saying, is The Misfortune Teller, the very last track on the album. That record, that track smokes. I've had it in my head nonstop since it came out, and it just jams. So I don't know if I got to rate it. If NOLA was 5 masks, I'd say this is probably 3 masks.
3 masks.
Yeah. If NOLA is the cream of the crop for me, that's 5. Then I'll say this is 3, and then I would say 4 is 4. I'm just trying to. I don't know, man. This mass system isn't too, we just throw it out there. I don't know, 3 to 3.5. It's a good record. And the cool thing is, because they're making EPs, they're priced accordingly. It's like $6. So thank God for that. So it is really good. If you like retro, just roots rock, man, metal, check it out. Phil's vocals, they are aging. The only slight disappointment I will say about it is that they kept claiming that, it's down NOLA style, back the way when they did that really raw, which it is. And a lot of people in the early reviews were saying, oh man, this is as good as down, or as NOLA rather, and they're in raw form and they're heavy. Phil didn't scream once on this record. No, on the Misfortune Teller, there is like a couple of minor, like almost, like when he's singing and he kind of almost lets out a little scream but doesn't quite get there, which I like. And there's one moment in the Misfortune Teller where he does let out a scream, and because it's like the only one on the whole record, it's extra good. But it's not the classic Phil Anselmo scream. It's an aged, raspy scream, which I think actually sounds really badass. But you can tell he's getting old. And if you guys have seen any of his latest YouTube video performances, him playing covering the Pantera songs with the Metal Masters on that whole thing, yeah, he's pretty shredded. So, but you know what? He knows what he needs to stay away from, and he's going for the whole Ozzy freaking low drone freaking hard ass singing, and it works for the album. But I was a little disappointed I didn't get some all out screaming. But what are you gonna do? But yeah, it's a pretty good record, man. So check it out. The second one that I want to talk about, the last one I want to talk about, River, you've heard as well, is the new Mumford & Sons.
Yeah.
You know what? I know they're not heavy rock. I know they're not metal. They're none of that stuff. But I think they have credit with the heavy rock world. They're that cool, and I love it. So I want to talk about it. Not to mention their debut record was Sign No More was, gosh, it's definitely my top 10. That's how much I love that record. And it's gotten more spins and replay out of any record I bought in the last 3 years. Up until this new one came out, I still was listening to it, and it just never got old.
No, I agree.
And I can't say that about a lot of records, as much as, I don't know, man, as much as there's tons of bands that I love, eventually, it seems lately, I burn out of a new record, even if it's a band I really like, after a few weeks, man. Mumford was kicking for 3-4 years, man.
Yeah.
So, as far as this new record goes, they didn't stray from their sound really much at all. So if you liked the Sign No More, you'll like this one as much. And I'm all for change, but I think for Mumford, that's a pretty good choice. I don't really want them experimenting with dubstep or techno or getting heavy. It's like they're a band for me that you want to expect a certain quality.
They don't need to change because they're always going to be great.
And if there's anything that changed, I mean, it's nothing that's going to be aesthetic. It's going to be stuff like subject matter in the songs. I can deal with that. If they were to come out with an album where they were still Mumford, but the lyrics got real dark, man, that's cool too. I love that stuff, But aesthetically, they're staying Mumford. And gosh, song-wise, as far as lyrics and stuff, maybe I think there is some more melancholy stuff going on, some kind of more somber, sad stuff in the lyrics. Mm-hmm. And the biggest difference for me is that he successfully didn't say heart in every song.
Yeah.
In the first record, man, he says heart in every single song, and it's so funny. It's so hard not to notice. But Marcus Mumford, dude, the lyrics that guy sings are some of the best lyrics in music today, and I'm really happy they're popular because I don't mind it when good songwriting is rewarded and they are popular. I won't get pissed off at that because they're amazing guys that write their own music, and those lyrics are phenomenal. I think they're great.
Oh, they're fantastic, man. Yeah.
And so the guy can use the word heart as much as he wants. But on this album, I think I only heard him say heart maybe on 3 tracks. So good for you, Marcus Mumford. And there's 50, if you buy the deluxe edition, there is 3 extra tracks. One of them is a cover of Simon and Garfunkel's "The Boxer," which is incredible. It's really, really good. River's a big Simon and Garfunkel fan.
That's right.
And you know what? And I think we've all heard "The Boxer," even if you don't think you've heard it. You've heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I hear the Mumford one, I'm a huge Mumford fan. I'm like, wow. Even though it pretty much has stayed the Boxer, it's got that little Mumford flavor on it, and now it's like I love it. So it's really, really good. But 15 songs, that's a ton of content for a relatively inexpensive price. The song quality, I'll just throw out key tracks. Babel, that's what the album is called. The title track is amazing. My favorite track on the whole record is Lover of the Light. It literally gives me tingles and butterflies. It does,
yeah. Hopeless Wanderer is my favorite.
Hopeless Wanderer is incredible. Ghost That We Knew. That one's been leaked for a very long time. That's incredible. I don't listen to the radio. I have no concept of what gets overplayed or what a single is, but I hear I Will Wait as the single. Mm-hmm. And since I don't listen to the radio, I have no concept of getting stuff overplayed and me getting sick of a song, but I love I Will Wait. The whole thing is great. It really, really. Oh, there's a song called "Below My Feet." It's incredible, but literally the whole thing is rock solid. You can listen to it back and front. And
what about
I love Marker.
What about the bonus tracks? For those below and Where Are You Now? What do you think of those?
They're solid as well. I mean, there's not really a misstep. I can honestly say I have my favorites. But every song is catchy. But the thing is with Mumford is this album Babel is playing just like the first one, in the fact that with the first one I latched onto a couple tracks at a time, and it seemed like every couple of days I got addicted to another couple of tracks. Yeah. And it's like I after I would just wear out these 3 tracks or whatever, I would really grow to appreciate this other couple. It's like, wow, and I started hearing them differently. Before too long, I had the whole album covered in it, and it was just like the whole thing is great. That's exactly how this one's playing out. It's like right now I'm just addicted to about half of the album, even though I listened to the whole thing. And by next week, I will have the whole thing covered. So it's fantastic. So basically, if you like them, you'll love this one. So it's really no different. So
okay, after listening to both albums, though, what is your favorite? If you had to pick a favorite Mumford song, what would it be? Okay,
a song is easier. I'm glad you didn't ask album because, like I said, they're really consistent.
You can't.
Gosh. Song?
Yeah.
They have a lot of old demo songs that are just as good as the stuff that made it on the official albums. Yeah. I can give you a couple, man, because give me one. Give me one that's just like you have to listen to it. But the reason, the reason why I picked this is going to probably have some other kind of sentimental meaning to it, and maybe it's the first one I latched onto. I think the first one I really fell in love with. That's the one I'll just go with. Is "Winter Winds" off "Sigh No More." Totally fell in love with the lyrics of that one and great. But man, if you gave me like 3 or 4, I might I'll throw in the title track, "Sigh No More." I love it.
That's my favorite right there.
God, that's close. Well, the reason why I picked "Winter Winds" because it was the first one I latched on that album. "Sigh No More" was the last one I listened to. It was the last one I could get into, and now it's like my favorite. So "Sigh No More" might be number 1, but "Winter Winds," "Sigh No More," I really, really like "Hold On to What You Believe" from one of their old demos. Yeah. I love that song, and if it top 4, I'll throw in "Lover of the Light." I think it's incredible. I love that song.
I gotta say, I forgot "Roll Away Your Stone" and "Sigh No More" are my 2 favorites. Still,
yeah. Well, no, believe me, the whole thing is incredible. Everything about that is awesome. But yeah, definitely "Lover of the Light," "Sigh No More," and "Winter Winds," and "Hold On to What You Believe." I did want to say it's not a gripe, but it's just one kind of eyebrow raise. It's like I said, "Ghost That We Knew," which I love that song. That's been online for a long time, as well as what they called "Home." It was a radio performance of what they were calling "Home," but that was later changed and revealed to be "Holland Road." And, the lyrics are themed around that and everything else. And I fell in love with this song. I still love it. So, the new album comes out, and "Holland Road" is on the new album, but it's a totally different song. They just ditched that old song and they rewrote it. They rewrote the lyrics. The themes are still there and talking about Holland Road, but the lyrics are different. The music is totally different. And while Holland Road on the album is a really good song, I felt I'm in love with the old one. Like the old one is perfect.
Better. I agree.
Yeah.
I love Home.
And yeah, it's a better song. And so I don't really if I ever got to interview them or have lunch with those guys, I would ask them, why did you guys... Now, if they gave me an answer like, well, it'd been leaked for a couple of years, it didn't feel like it belonged on the album anymore, okay, I would accept that, but they threw on "Ghost That We Knew."
Yeah.
Which is also, and also I think Lover's Eyes has been out for a long time as well. So I would ask them why they did that, because it's such a fantastic song. But when it wasn't on the album, I had to sit there and console myself by ripping the audio from YouTube, and I put it on my playlist. So now I do have it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't an official recorded version like a Ghost Living New, where it was that radio version. But Mumford's one of those bands where if it's live or in the studio, they're a very organic band, so it's going to sound just as good. And sometimes it's almost hard to tell, is this a studio recording or a live thing? It's not like Metallica or Slayer where you can clearly tell. So whatever. I guess I just have to look at it positively. Like, well, now I got 2 good songs out of it.
Exactly, man.
But I don't understand it from an album point of view. But with that said, right now, man, I have to get 5 Masks, dude, and that's coming from a fanboy and proud of it. So they're amazing songwriters. So that's music.
Well, I can't really grade it because I've only listened to it once. But of course, the other one I give 5 Masks, so I'm sure I'll like this one just as much. So
I think about you, River, when the very first track, Babel, the title track, he does a Dave Matthews. He goes, "Whoo!"
Oh,
and I look forward to it every time. Like,
what's the new Dave Matthews album? Sucks.
Oh, did you? I haven't listened to it yet. You listened to it all the way through and got a good soak in.
I didn't like it, but it's different.
I got to listen to it for myself. But that's kind of a crying shame because Big Whiskey was so good.
Oh, it was fantastic. It's one of my favorite albums, dude.
And it might be their best album. It was very short. And I like that. It's like you can listen to that album 3 times and not know where time went. Like just over, it's so. But I like stuff like that. So I'll have to listen to that myself. But anyway, that's it for music right now. We do have some fan questions we got to get into to close it all off.
Oh yeah, man. Do you have those pulled up?
Yeah, I remember them. So we'll start off with Zach Wells because there actually is somewhat relation. We'll start with Zach, and then we'll segue into our boy Corey Gomez.
Oh, good old Zach Wells.
Zach Wells, loyalist to the max. Oh! And which, by the way, I apologize. After we're done answering these questions, Zach, this is for you. I will give you my brief impressions of Resident Evil 6 because I know he's...
Okay, hold on real quick. You know what? I saw a post on Facebook saying like your Skype was hacked or some shit. That he posted that on there. What the hell happened there, man? Or not your Skype, your
my Facebook.
Your Twitter, dude.
He said Facebook, but it did look like a Twitter thing. Yeah, he said I was porn spammed, and I was like, what the heck? So I guess I need to go and change my passwords. And I was looking at, dude, 2 weeks ago, somebody logged in from Kazakhstan. Logged in my Facebook from Kazakhstan. Yeah, so it happens, man. I don't know. But it's like if they're gonna porn hack me, at least they could send me some nude John Stamos pictures. Good God.
I'll send you some nude AC Slater pictures, dude. Mario
Lopez, the man that doesn't age.
His bare ass, dude.
From that, it's from Nip Tuck, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're such a homo. All right, is there blood in the pool? Greg Louganis? Is there blood in the pool?
It's Greg Loose Anus. That's it.
Greg Loose Anus. Yeah. Man, what a versatile actor. He can play a beach bicycle cop. He can play a homosexual diver. He can play a gym jock meathead high school student. What can't the man do? Remember Pacific Blue, the bike cop?
Oh God, yeah, dude. I remember. See, I don't know if that was on for very long, but it used to be on like after WWF. I remember.
Yeah, he used to come on the USA Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, USA Network and La Femme Nikita and all that stuff. But anyway, off the topic of Mario Lopez, I know how he's he's distracting and all. But questions like I said, Zach Wells. I'll briefly talk about Resident Evil 6 and my first impressions after this. But Zach Wells asked us who our favorite Ninja Turtle was. Back I assume just speaking about the classic cartoon back from the 80s and the glory days. And you can give me – I want to hear your opinion, River, but I actually also can break this down and why. But who is your favorite if you just had to pick one?
Oh, God.
Zach says his favorite's Raphael, but he used to be. It was always Raphael, but actually now he's leaning toward Donatello, which actually I've never heard before. It's good to see Donatello get some love.
It's funny you say Donatello doesn't get any love because he was my favorite the whole time, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
He just, to me as a kid, I would think he would have the least appeal because he was kind of the geeky scientist. You know, back when I was a kid, everybody wanted to love Leonardo because he's the leader. It's just that, you know, I want to be the leader. But you know what? I've since abandoned Leonardo.
No, everybody liked Michelangelo, dude. Everybody liked Michelangelo.
Or Michelangelo. Well, no, everybody. Yeah. Everybody had that appeal. Michelangelo was the party dude, and he was cool. Cowabunga, you know, and all that stuff. But Leonardo was a leader too. But I used to like Leo.
I used to like him and Raphael, though. Donatello.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know why, dude. Because Raphael, I mean, nobody gave him any love, dude. I mean, he was the outcast, dude.
Well, okay. Well, that actually is a good point because, like I said, that's kind of go along with my answer, Zach Wells. But when I was a kid, you know, we think a little differently. And Leonardo was the leader, so it's like, oh, I want to be the leader. You know, I associated it with who I wanted to pretend to be on the blacktop at school, and everybody wanted to be the leader. So Leonardo. But you know, since I've grown older, Leonardo's pretty gay, and that has nothing to do with voice actor Cam Clark, who's a homosexual. He's brilliant. I would love to interview Cam Clark. He's awesome and all the stuff he's done. But just as a character, I don't know why Leonardo was the leader. He was so wimpy, and he was weak. When Raphael, the only reason why he wasn't leader material is because he was hard-headed and he made rash decisions. But you know what? He also kind of had that attitude of, I'm going to get the job done because he's the most crude, as it said in the title.
Yeah.
And Raphael is now my favorite and has been for a very long time because, unlike, in contrast to when I was a younger kid and I kind of saw things simpler, I liked Leonardo. Now that I'm adult, I can look at it in an adult way and see that, wow, Raphael's got some serious undertones to him. He's a complicated character. Mm-hmm. You know, he's the outcast. He's got the problems. He's got the internal problems where he doesn't speak. You can tell he bottles stuff in. He's a more complex character than anybody else. And as an adult, I can see that now, and he's awesome. And I'm glad they made him the focal character of, well, the first and the second Turtles movies. He deserved to be the star. He's the most complex, interesting character, in my opinion. Whereas Michelangelo's awesome. He's totally comic relief. He's the guy that says the budding jokes and whatever. He's no one you want to write a whole movie around, you know, sure. I think. But that's my opinion of why, who I liked and why back then, and who I like and favor now and why.
If I had to pick outside of that though, like overall, Master Splinter was always my favorite though. Because he was a Japanese mutant rat, dude. I mean, I love that, dude.
No, very, very. Oh yeah, why don't we kind of add a little topping to that question and say our favorite other characters, like you just said, our favorite villains. You know, the cartoon had tons of kind of guest villains that, only showed up every now and again, or maybe just an episode or two, and then you had your standard guys like Bebop and Rocksteady and Shredder and all that stuff. Gosh, it would be too easy to pick any of the mainstream cast. I think we should pick
Casey
one
Jones, the Vigilante, which is great.
He's awesome. He's awesome. But as far as villains, though, villains that didn't make a lot of appearances, who do you really like?
The villains?
The Rat. Yeah, how about the Rat King, dude, or Slash, or Leatherhead, dude, the alligator? He was so cool.
Oh yeah, dude, he was awesome.
But we could go on and on and on about that. Oh, actually, I officially have my pick for favorite sort of non-reoccurring character, and that would be Rex 1. My duty is to serve and protect and take Irma to the movies.
Yeah, no, I love Rex 1, dude.
And I always thought, I'm like, you know what? When we're kids, like I said, we look at things innocently, and we don't have a corrupt mind, so we really can't put together the innuendos. But now when I watch that episode, which I have recently as an adult, I can't help but have a dirty mind about it. Like, so how come this was not frowned upon that Irma was getting drilled and boned by a giant robot?
Well, he has a long tongue, dude. Remember?
So they had a long tongue. Like, hold my tongue, yeah. But it's kind of perverted though. It's like, using a vibrator is one thing, man, but Irma's sad, man. She was actually pursuing a relationship with this freaking. Is that how sad she is and lonely as she is? She's gonna pursue this big freaking, and he doesn't even look like a real. It's not even like a a robot like you'd see in like a movie like Total Recall or some sci-fi movie where they look just like a human being. If they really did offer droids that looked lifelike, I bet you there'd be a million dudes buying those things and just having sex with them if they were like humans. But this thing didn't even start. What?
Especially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, dude.
No offense, Zach. I'm one too.
I am too, dude.
I'll be in line with you guys. We'll buy our women, dude. It's like, hey, it's not cheating. Would it be cheating? I don't know. But, no, but Rex 1 looked, he's just a big hunk of metal, dude. Like, that just tells me she wanted to get drilled by a giant freaking piece of machine, dude. Like, oh, this is dirty. This is raw. Where's that behind the scene deleted scenes, dude? I'll watch it. But,
I don't know. My favorite villain was always Baxter Stockman, dude.
Oh yeah, Baxter Stockman showed up more than most actors. He had quite a few episodes, but yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
especially that first one with the Mousers, man. They're phew.
I like Merlin too, dude.
Oh, yeah,
he was. He's probably one of my favorite characters. No, I'm just joking. Merlin's a piece of shit.
But yeah, I think I gave mine Rex 1. I think that was a pretty clever answer. Let us know. Actually, Zach, why don't you let us know who your favorite sort of non-reoccurring villain is? Non-reoccurring to make it interesting, and the mainstream occurring ones as well. But then we'll let that segue into Corey Gomez's question, which involved the Turtles. That's why I say that. He asked, who would win, I'm paraphrasing here because I'm not looking at the question, who would win in a brawl against the original Power Rangers, the Ninja Turtles, and the cast of the Expendables all going in a giant three-way melee with Steven Seagal as the referee?
Oh, God.
What makes this a kicker is when you throw in Steven Seagal, because he could be a wild card here. Who does he favor? Is he going to be But if we take out Steven Seagal, does that make the question any easier? I don't know, because the Power Rangers have Zords.
Yeah.
And I know Jason Statham and freaking Barney Ross have a giant plane that Statham can stick out the end of and fire. Gosh, man, do you think with their jet and all that stuff, do you think they could take out the Zords, the Megazord?
No, not at all.
The Turtles clearly are done. They would not make it to round 2 because they're afraid to use guns. I think the Expendables would blow them up in a second with their tanks and all that stuff. They would even not last against them. Sadly, now if we're talking about a one-on-one brawl, fist fight, then I think the Turtles stand a chance. But like I said, we'll let the Turtles have their weapons, and we'll let the Expendables have their weapons, and Turtles are turtle soup, as the Shredder would say. So now it's just the Power Rangers and the Expendables.
Are we talking, for the Power Rangers, are we talking about the villains and the allies? Are we talking about Alpha 5? Or are we just talking about the main Power Rangers?
Yeah, we're talking about the original 5, actually 6. We'll throw in Tommy Oliver because he's the shiz. But, we're talking about 6 Rangers.
Oh, because I'd love to talk about Lord Zed, dude, because he's my favorite, dude.
Yeah. Well, he was, speaking of not seeing things the way they were when you were a kid, man, he's pretty homoerotic now that you freaking look at him now. It's like the guy wasn't wearing any pants to see his butt cheeks. He's like wearing no clothes. But anyway.
Who's your favorite Goldar, dude?
Oh, when they first came out, Lord Zed became my favorite. But Goldar, dude, when he first came out, there was no Lord Zed. It was just Fenster and Rita Repulsa and Squat and Babu and stuff. Yeah, Goldar, dude, because he was second in command.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted Goldar on the blacktop if he couldn't be Jason the Red Ranger, and that was before Green Ranger came out. But anyway, so do you think that the Expendables, with all their jets and their tanks, could take out the Megazord? And keep in mind that they can spread apart and also divide and conquer, and they could take him down with the separate Zords. I don't think so either. I think the Power Rangers would get the upper hand, especially if they call on. I think if they went the tactical route of the initial 5 becoming the Megazord, and then Tommy Oliver had the Dragon Zord. Like he didn't, because the Dragon Zord could attach to the Megazord too. But I think if they kept the Zord and the Megazord and they took them on too, I don't think they could take it.
Well, they don't even need to attach though. I mean, they could be 5-on-1 and just be I mean, they're in that one chopper or that one plane, dude. He could take that shit down easily. Billy could take him down, dude.
I don't know why they always felt the need to, before we give the deciding final blow, we have to all connect and hit him with a sword, Ray. Yeah. I don't know why they always felt that was necessary, but I don't know. They were prima donnas and they had to freaking divas and they had to get their, moment. I don't know. But now you add Steven Seagal in the mix. Personally, I don't like that question because Corey Gomez is a freak with Steven Seagal, and I think he just wants to have his cake and eat it too, and have it, and it's Seagal included in everything. Well, we know it's not a realistic notion because nobody wants Steven Seagal in their fight. Nobody wants him in their movie or anything. His stupid Lawman show didn't even last 2 seasons, or did 2 seasons. I think that was it. But so he's just asking that question to give me a hard time and to make it complicated.
Does he still have that stylish little pony knob?
Yeah, the little pony knob. My honest opinion is his being the referee would be irrelevant because he wouldn't be even paying attention because he's too busy snacking on Haagen-Dazs somewhere. he lost sight of the fight. He got distracted. Ice Cream Man came through.
Hey, at least Jean-Claude actually looks good right now. Not like a 3. What?
Well, he's in shape, but he's not aging well. But he's in shape.
He's in shape.
Heck yeah. And that's another thing. Let's say let's just entertain Corey Gomez with that Steven Seagal part. I don't know. Van Damme's a villain, so I don't know if you want to include him on the Expendables team because we didn't include villains on the other teams, but he's got a grudge against Van Damme, so he might not want to, be in favor of what they're doing. I don't know.
No, he'd be Steven Seagal would be ramming Kimberly Hart and Trina Kwan, dude.
Oh yeah, duels, wouldn't we all?
Yeah, dude, he'd be double stuff. Well,
friggin', Trini, dude, she was Asian. Trini, dude, she was Thai, dude. There's Asians are freaks, dude. She'd be giving you a rim job, dude. While you're on top of Kimberly Hart. Well, she's dead. Rest in peace. God rest her soul. Much respect.
Yeah. Much respect.
But she would be totally licking your O-ring, dude. The Oreo dust off that. Oh. She was alive. But so I don't know. I don't think Seagal would matter. I think because we'll just settle it with this. Steven Seagal by himself, if he wasn't a referee, he wouldn't even last a one-on-one fight with Kimberly the Pink Ranger. He couldn't even get past that. And so I'm not even going to give
Turtles.
I'm not even going to give him the credit and the respect. I'm not even going to say he's qualified to referee a giant match like this. So that's what I say.
I'd give him about as much credit as Leonardo.
Yeah. Well, no. And I would say that he would probably, when the Zords all came out, the Megazord, the Dragon Zord, and all this stuff, we're sitting there stomping around the friggin', makeshift Angel Grove like they always had, little freaking model, dude, looked really fake.
Yeah.
He'd probably be running around like a little girl, like Godzilla, and he'd probably get stepped on if he didn't make it, if he didn't run away in time and hide like a little bitch. Like, go hide the ice cream truck. I can console myself with some ice cream and, can hide, I don't know. But
eating his Haagen-Dazs.
But anyway, the official answer I think me and you both agree on is the Power Rangers would take it home.
Yeah.
So that's our answer. But those are awesome questions, man. I want to get more questions like that.
Well, so we didn't even talk about, if Tommy was there too. I mean,
no, I did. I said add Tommy and Dragonzord.
Oh god.
Yeah, because he had the Dragazord, and because the Dragazord could attach to the Megazord, but that's a little redundant. Yeah. Keep the Megazord and then have the Dragazord too, because they were the same size, man. They freaking totally tag team the Expendables, man.
Oh, they destroy him, dude.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's the official word. But like I said, really fun questions. I want to get more of those. Those are awesome. And as I promised, Zach, I want to, before we end the show, I will tell you about my first impressions of Resident Evil 6. I had this on pre-order, and I have to say, I made the mistake of reading all the mainstream reviews that came out the day before, and it's not getting the greatest reviews. It's not getting a whole lot of love. It's getting, on average, kind of your 7.5s to 8s, 7 to 8s and stuff, which is good, but a couple of other non-so-mainstream sites are giving it even lower. I've seen a couple 3s and 4s, which that might be a little unfair, but The common gripe, which I have to agree so far, is that it's really overbloated. It's totally dealing with an identity crisis. They don't know what kind of game it wants to be. Admittedly wanted to please everybody by making it, let's have a little bit of horror here, let's have a little bit of action here, let's have Call of Duty here, let's have Gears of War. It's like, come on, man. Like, why can't you just cater to the core audience who's been there since day one? We all want a horror game, man. And I thought I was kind of led to believe to think they were going to do that after the disappointing 5, which 5 was a straight-up action game. Total shooter, nothing scary about it. All the friggin' scenes were in broad daylight, for crying out loud. And it just took you, it was nothing scary about it. But as a standalone game, it was a fun action game. But when you think about it as a Resident Evil title, it's like, yeah, this is not where they should be going. So I was really shocked when, they didn't really correct after there. And they did bring back the most annoying part about 5, which was the AI, the fact that you couldn't play campaign alone. Now, if you played online or the co-op, yeah, that extra character was a lot of fun. But when you want to play single-player campaign, that chick Sheva had to follow you around and help you and hold your hand. And she was more trouble than she was worth because she was always dying and stealing her ammo and holding you up. So that sucked. And they brought that back for 6. Every character has an AI partner. Now, albeit they are smarter this time around, they hold your hand and they made an easier game. They don't die and they don't run out of ammo. So realistically, if you're in a bind, you could hide behind, a table and just order your partner to do all the work, and eventually they'll take out all the freaking zombies or whatever for you. I don't want my handheld. But I don't know. What is supposed to be the coolest part about the game might be one of the flaws, and that is it's so huge. It's got to be the longest action game known to man because I think it's supposedly got like 30 to 40 hours of gameplay. It's got 4 campaigns, which is massive. And every one of them, the cool part, like I said, is a different story. You got Leon that's in America, D.C. You got Chris Redfield that's in China. So, I mean, that to the naked eye, that's really, really cool. But supposedly it's I don't know. They could have trimmed it all down to a really great game. But at the least, it looks incredible. It does look fantastic. The voice acting is great, all that stuff. I'm just now playing through Leon's campaign, which is the first one, so I can't grade the whole game yet. But so far, it is a little boring just because I've put a few hours into it, and I've really just watched the giant cinematic. I've really done little myself. It's like a giant cinematic, or occasionally, well, not occasionally, they do it all the time. They ask you to, you remember in Resident Evil 4 River, where they had those like action sequences, like press X and Y really quick to dodge? Yeah. Okay, that was fun in Resident Evil 4. Dude, they do it every 30 seconds in this game. Mm. It's like annoying and it's always for the stupidest little thing, like to crank, push these buttons rapidly to crank this, like to put a switch, really. And it's annoying because it's like I've been doing nothing but watching cinematics with the occasion of every now and again they, to make the story progress. Like, hurry up and push this button. Like, ugh. So I'll let you know when I really get into the action, Zach Wells. But I'm not counting it out yet because it's got redeeming qualities, but it's not the perfect game that it should be. So, but to be continued. That's it. That's it.
That's
what?
It? No.
Thank you all.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you got into that because I was kind of curious about that too, even though I don't have a PlayStation anymore. But
you got, if you play it, you got to go into it like 5 and just look at it as a standalone game if you're going to enjoy it. Because, like I said, that's going to be. I'll wait till I get through the whole thing. Because part of me, I'm just going off of what everybody else that's finished it has told me to, and I'm just kind of trying to weigh it out. So I'll let you know later. I get through it.
Let us know what your guys' favorite Resident Evil games are. Mine's 4. I have to say mine's 4 because I think that's a perfect game, and that has so much replay value too. Like I played it like 5 times. It's fantastic, and I wish they came out with an HD version of that.
Well, you can download it off the PSN.
Do they have an HD version?
Yeah, it's HD.
Oh,
they released an HD version.
If I had a PlayStation, I'd definitely buy it.
I have it on my PlayStation as well as the HD code Veronica. But anyway, Resident Evil, you're right. Resident Evil did that very rare thing where they came out with a game where it really combated with. It's easy to say that my favorite is the original because you can't. It's hard to beat nostalgia. But then they came out with 4, and it was so good to where you almost can't deny it. Like, this is a better game. This is a great game, and not too many games peak a second time like that. Not too many franchises, and they were one of the rare that peaked a second time. They were Van Halen, for God's sakes, with 1984 or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't happen, and I can't think.
I love the first one too. I mean, the thing I loved about the first one was actually the box work, or the old school cases with the PlayStation 1 cases. Oh,
the long case with the generic looking Chris. The Chris on the cover that looked like freaking Anthony Perkins, dude. He looked like a psycho, dude.
But the good thing about this one was it wasn't like a plastic case. It was an actual, like a see-through
cardboard
case. It was it cardboard?
I think the Resident Evil was like a cardboard one. I do believe. But
I love those long cases. I think those were fantastic, especially for PlayStation 1 games. And then they went to regular CD cases, which pissed me off. But I love the feel. I love the size of them. I love the smell of them. You think that sounds weird, dude? I love the smell of those things.
No. Me too. Now, on one hand, I do understand why they went smaller, because those big ones would be clunkers, dude. They would take up so much space. But they are amazing. And my favorite case of all time is Mortal Kombat 3 for the PlayStation.
Okay, but that was a see-through. That was a that was a see-through plastic case, wasn't it?
What are you referring to then? I'm talking about the long ones. It was a long one.
It was a long one. Was it like a Sega CD type of case?
Yeah, it was Sega CD cases, basically the exact same.
What
are you talking about?
I'm talking about the old Resident Evil, just like the plain one,
like where it was long, but it was like cardboard.
Yeah.
A box. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, those were really rare. I think another game that had that, the only one I could think of that had that also was Gex. Gex had the cardboard one. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. But I mean, I'll just briefly say it, but I got into a real nostalgic mode when I was still living in Omaha, Nebraska, way back in my high school days, and I bought Mortal Kombat 3. I paid like $25 for it because I had the old case or what. This is way past the days of those long cases. And I bought it, and then I lost it in my move. I was so mad because I love that case. I was like smelling it like you, and I just worship the cover art because Mortal Kombat 3. PlayStation had its own cover art that was different from any other platform, and no other. That's the reason why I wanted it, because it was the only place where you could find that red, almost infrared looking skull. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Oh, see, even with games, I'm a freak for cover art and packaging. It was so beautiful. If you bought it on any other platform, you just got the plain black background with the 3, and it was like, and even Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which PlayStation didn't get, Sega Saturn got. That was another thing. The Sega Saturn cases was the same, the long ones. And
I love the long one. I don't know why, dude. There's something about them, dude. And then that fringe on the left hand side where the grooves and everything. It's gonna sound weird, dude, but I just love that, dude. I used to put my finger up and down those grooves. This sounds weird,
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, though? The cardboard cases.
But
I used to have that. I used to have Loaded, dude. I used to love Loaded, dude. I used to play that all the time. My mom used to walk in. What the hell are you playing?
Oh. You know what? And I've said this many times. Talking about Sega Saturn, actually. They had Ultimate MK3, and I love that cover too, where it's all the purple skeletons. But no, I don't know why Sega Saturn doesn't get any more love. It's like Sega has sold. It's a third party now. It sells rights to Xbox or Microsoft or Nintendo and everybody. So I don't know why there's no. I've been wondering why there's been no Sega Saturn games to download, and especially on the Nintendo, the Wii channels. That's great. They got Turbo Graphics. They got Nintendo, Super Nintendo. They're Sega's their bitch now. It's like, why not have a Genesis channel? And I've been waiting for it. But anyway, on that note, yesterday they released a classic actually a flagship Sega Saturn game on PSN download. They released a HD version of Knights. Do you remember that? You don't remember Knights, dude? It was like for a time, it was like their mascot, Knights, and I never got to play it. And I always wanted to, so I'm going to be looking forward to downloading that. They should release more though.
Yeah, I'm looking on eBay right now. They have some of the long boxes on sale, dude. Oh, I'd love to have them, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Yeah, so if you have any long cases or any old, any game systems, old cases, post them on our page. We want to see them. I mean, because we love that shit. We love the old nostalgia stuff. So I don't care. I don't care what format it's on.
Yeah, I want to see what you got, especially if anybody's got those long cases. Even Sega, I used to be a Sega CD fan, actually. You know what? It was a crappy system, but there are a couple of gems on that. And Zach Wells, I think you're a gamer too, man. Do you have any collections? If you got any of these old systems or any of these old games, like, you throw up some pictures, man. We're dying to see everybody. So that's all I got.
What about? See, I always wanted like a 3DO, dude. So I don't know. They always had some good games on there. Like, I mean, this is pretty much Sega CD, wasn't it? 3DO.
No, 3D. Yeah, 3DO was the competitor for that, I do believe.
Yeah.
There's also. Yeah, I never had it. I think Gex was also on 3DO. It might have actually been more of a. It was actually more of a PlayStation competitor, right? When they, because didn't Philips make the 3DO or one of those other, like, not Sony but Philips? God, no, Philips was CDI. God, 3DO was somebody else. One of the other. But yeah, I remember they had games like Gex and stuff that were some of the launcher early games for PlayStation. I think they were to compete with that, but. Any of that stuff I'd love to see, so anybody post anything,
Yeah, for sure, but that'll pretty much wrap it up for this show.
Heck yeah, keep the questions coming.
Yeah, we'll, get on some new things here pretty soon. I don't know, this is kind of a show about Blu-Rays and what have you, but we appreciate you guys listening in.
That's right, I had fun, so who gives a shit? Sorry,
yeah, exactly.
Edit that out.
Nah, fuck that, dude, I'm not editing that out. We had a good time, and like I said, keep an eye out for some interviews that we're going to be posting from the convention we were just at. And next show, I hope to have Lush on here too, so we can, rant and rave about his stories. And he has some stories. A little teaser for you. It has something to do with Stephen Jeffries, so keep an eye out for that, or a tongue out. But other than that, we'll talk to you guys later. This is Riverman.
This is the Goose.
And we'll see you guys later.
Tell them Freddy sent you. Bye.